Hey, it's Bill DeWeese back with Mallory DeWeese Handford. I just throw that in there because Mallory is my daughter, even though she's married and has three beautiful kids. She is my daughter and has been working, actually started working for me full time 12 years ago, and now does that on a very part-time basis. And well, first of all, let me say why we're here, and then we'll give you more details. But this is really part two of an interview that we started a few days ago. If you haven't seen that yet, make sure you check it out. But Mallory is just absolutely killing it on Fiverr. She makes my gig, what I'm doing on there. I feel embarrassed, but I haven't been doing it as long as she has. That's my only defense. But Mallory is coaching me and helping me, and I am growing. And this I have to throw this out here, and this is not to brag, but just to give you a sense of, you hear people say all the time, "Wow, Fiverr's $5 jobs and no self-respecting voiceover talent, whatever, they're on Fiverr." Number one, my average job on Fiverr is more than my average job elsewhere, including agents. Number two, my last job on Fiverr that I just wrapped up was a $5,000 job. I'm not saying they are all $5,000 jobs, but I just want you to understand it's, if you think of it as just a $5 platform, you are completely missing the point. They're a public company, they're well funded, they have great management. You probably saw the Super Bowl ad, and they've been advertising heavily ever since. They are building something
Yeah,
significant.
they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, and that's important to know because you see things pop up every now and then. A couple people decided to get together and said, "Oh, this is a good idea. I don't like what such and such did, so I'm going to create a platform." But you want business people who are well funded, who really have the resources to make it happen, and that's what these guys. And again, that's not, that's great that people. I think people have good intentions, and I'm not criticizing that. But what I'm saying is, you got to be careful where you put your time and your energy. So yeah, just a quick recap. Mallory works now part time in voiceover because she's a full time stay at home mom as well, and the bulk of her six-figure voiceover income comes from Fiverr, and it's growing as well. So, if I left anything out in terms of the setup here,
I
I
don't
brought
think
us up to
so.
date. Okay,
I
good.
think we're good. Yeah.
Well, Mallory starts to teach a 4-week class beginning on Tuesday night, June the 8th, and I wanted to have a chance to talk about it. So, for those who sign up for this class, and let's say I'm on Fiverr and I'm like so frustrated and I think this is crazy, this is nuts, why am I on here? And what would you say to me, and why should I be a part of this class?
Well, I would say to you, I'm about 99% sure your gig is not properly set up.
Oh,
That's what I would say. And really,
okay.
that's what we cover from the get-go. I mean, yes, we'll cover, okay, you're not even on the platform. Okay, so let's just give you the few steps to get, your profile set up because there might become a couple hurdles that you want to talk through.
Yeah,
Username. Should I put my
right.
own name on there?
Oh,
There's
that's a
those
big one, right?
people,
Yeah,
but people ask that all the time,
sure.
and so we'll
So this is
talk
like a
about
step
that.
by step. Okay, number one, do
Yeah,
this. Number two, do that. Okay.
exactly. And then we'll get into the nitty gritty of getting that gig set up. And if you already have a gig, rebuild it. Start over on that gig or make a new one. Because again, your gig is what you're selling. So you can sell a lot of things. I mean, ideally, you're sticking with one thing, as in voiceover or website building. I mean, whatever it is. But ideally, you're sticking with one thing, but there's a lot of different aspects within voiceover that you can advertise. And so we'll talk about that. But you got to have it set up correctly on the front end in order to even be seen on the site.
And is
So
that where the kind of the software algorithm plays in because they're looking for certain things and
they're looking
that
for,
kind of
yeah, exactly. Yes.
okay. Okay. So like what I know you get questions all the time and you do some coaching, some one-on-one as well as you do webinars for the people in our voiceover blueprint
Yeah.
program as well. So give me just a few of the questions that come up all the time that most people seem to be concerned with or maybe find as a challenge and what you'll be doing to address that. in the
Well,
program.
what I hear most often is, well, I got this going and nobody's talking to me. That's what I hear. Like, I'm getting nothing. Nothing is
Like
happening.
like they don't
Nothing.
exist, like nobody's seeing them there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they probably aren't. So,
Uh,
what tagging you should be using. Like, what is Fiverr looking for? What does Fiverr use to find you? Whenever somebody comes to the site and they put in voiceover in that little search bar. Um, and then at that point, it's a matter of, are you being seen? And then are you selling yourself? Are you presenting yourself in a way that makes somebody want to interact with you and buy
mhm.
from you? So there's some nitty gritty aspects within that all kind of play together to get you, one, seen, and two, um, uh, get you in a place where you are attractive to a buyer.
Now, let me ask you, do you think this is a viable platform for somebody who's just like, they're just getting started? Maybe they're a school teacher or a salesperson or whatever. I fill in the blank. And they're like, I think, as a matter of fact, I got an email from a pastor friend of mine that
Hmm.
I know from way back in the day who said, I'm thinking about retiring and I'm trying to figure out a way to make a few bucks. Is voiceover something I should consider? What would you say to people like that who really haven't done voiceover and maybe not even have done anything that's speaking? I mean, if you come from a speaking type profession, great, but many don't. Should they consider this?
I think it's definitely something you should consider, but I think you also need to realize there is competition. This is a competitive platform. So I wouldn't say you should just throw your stuff up there and just hope that something happens.
Which
You
is
know,
what most people do
exactly.
without the proper knowledge.
Exactly. I mean, I would encourage you, before you get on this platform, to know that you have a product. And by product, I mean audio that is good. I mean, you want to
Hmm.
make sure that your product is presentable, not something that's noisy or, so make sure that you have a product that you can deliver and will make somebody want to buy from you again. Fiverr uses a rating system. So every time you get the opportunity to do a job for somebody, you're rated. You could potentially be rated by that buyer. And, we as sellers kind of live and breathe by these ratings.
Yeah.
So you do want to make sure that you have something that you can present to people. So I wouldn't say, you're in an open room with your computer microphone uh, ready to record voiceover. I wouldn't say that would be a great start on
Talking
Fiverr.
talking to my phone.
Yeah, I
Testing
wouldn't
one,
say.
two. Wouldn't do
I
that.
mean, it depends, I guess, what it sounds like. So that would be my only hesitation. So while you might be new to voiceover, you need to have a product
Yeah.
that you can deliver.
So that's something that you'll talk about. That's just one of the number of
Yeah.
aspects that have
Yes.
bases that have to be covered. And of course, again, Mallory's been working within the Fiverr platform for 2.5 years. So you've seen, I would imagine, you've seen and done it all at some point.
Hmm.
It's interesting. A number of our students now who have been learning, and as I mentioned, you're doing the weekly or the regular coaching webinars for our Blueprint students. We have a number of students who have built six-figure incomes just through Fiverr. But I think it's important to note that for a lot of people, this is not, they're just looking for a few hours a week kind of thing.
Well,
So,
yeah, a lot of people have this as, if you talk, they like to refer to your marketing wheel, the
yeah,
spokes. And
right.
this really is, it doesn't have what I have done with this is, I wouldn't say I'm a unicorn by any stretch of the imagination. I personally know people that are doing the same or better because they've been on longer. And
Yeah.
really that's how the platform works. I mean, the longer you're on, the more clients you get, the more
That
money
is
you
part of
make.
the formula, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is.
Length of time.
So, yeah. So, could this happen for you? Absolutely. But does it have to be this ginormous thing that takes up your life? No, not at all. Especially if you're at the beginning of your career, you definitely want to be pushing out to a lot of different areas so
Yeah.
that you have a lot of spokes in that wheel.
Yeah, and I try to be very mindful of the fact when I'm throwing around, the fact that you're making six figures, or me or whoever, or other students, doesn't mean, and that may not even be your goal. I had a student I was talking with yesterday on one of our coaching webinars who said his first month, and I think this is primarily maybe all from Fiverr. His first month he made like $225. His second month he made $450, give or take a few bucks, like doubled it. And now he's in his third month. And so I'm trying to imagine, what would it be like to make an extra $1,000 a month for a few hours a week? That would be amazing for most people.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was thrilled at the beginning when I was making, a few $100 a month, and I thought, man, that's just extra.
Yeah, it's gravy.
I'm literally just putting in like maybe an hour or two here or there, you
Yeah,
know, and and I have, if I wanted to slow this down, which I don't, if I wanted to slow this down, there's things I can do. Man, I could up my price to
right.
something astronomical. So I'm just doing the, anybody who wants to pay a lot of money could hire me on there. There are things I could do
You can
to
your
do.
you control your turnaround time. That's something
Well,
else we
that's what
really
I'm
haven't talked
saying.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's everything. I am in control of everything that is happening, you know?
Let's talk about
So,
that for a second because most platforms, speed is a thing. If you don't audition quickly or you don't get in quickly, you can miss out. Both Fiverr, it's not that way because it's once it's set up, they're coming to you, and when they do, they see, okay, Mallory has a whatever it is, 48-hour turnaround or 24. I don't know what I don't know what it is for you, but
that's what I have a 48-hour
48.
turnaround
Okay.
turnaround when because I charge more for 24-hour turnaround or
Okay.
12-hour turnaround.
Yeah.
You can add all kinds of different things on there that, you want to make available to somebody. Now, do I like turning things around quickly? Absolutely. Do I like responding to people quickly? Absolutely, because it gets a great response. But, I've been kind of conditioned over time for, fast turnaround. This is, what
It's the
I've been
nature of
doing.
yeah,
What I've been doing for a while. It's what I've seen you do.
yeah.
So it's just kind of ingrained in me. But is it necessary? No, it's not. I mean, your prices and your turnaround times are stated on the front end before anybody, interacts with you.
Will you be
So
talking about like the upsells and how to strategically use those to increase your income
yeah,
in Fiverr?
yeah.
Okay, that'd be part
We'll
of the
talk.
class.
Yes. They call them extras. We'll be talking about
Extras.
extras.
See, I don't even use the lingo right yet. I'm still,
You're killing me, man.
I know.
As if I
It's like,
haven't taught you
oh my,
anything.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So
And
which just
and
shows, even an
well,
old guy like me, I can fumble around and still make some money on there.
well, yeah, and we'll talk about you and I are on different tracks, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about that as well because they're
Okay.
two totally different journeys. Bill's a Fiverr Pro, quote unquote pro, labeled that on the site, and I'm in the general population.
And you make way
So
more money on there than I do.
I do, but I've been on longer than you, and it's just a different game. Yeah,
Yeah,
these
it
are
is.
different. These are different games. I refer to Fiverr as a game. I got in it because it was a game. I was like,
Yeah.
let me see if I can play. Okay, I decided I'm gonna see if I can play, and if it still works.
And you
You
learn the
know,
rules of the game.
I learned the rules, and I learned some ins and outs. I'm still learning things, as I go.
Yeah.
But it's a game that I feel like I'm pretty good at, and I'm
Yeah.
winning in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. You certainly are. And I've always said if you're going to learn it from somebody who's actually doing it.
Yeah.
And if you're and turn off the noise. If you hear people saying, it always happens this way. Whoever steps out and is using the newer platforms that are working well, there's always resistance to that, and people will always badmouth it and say bad things. But you have to ask yourself the question, who are you doing this for? Are you doing it to impress other people and to avoid their criticism, or are you doing it for you and your family and the people you care about?
Well, yeah, really, it's whatever you want your career to be.
Yeah.
So if this is not what you want your career to be, then by all means, don't do it. I'm happy to stay on there and take all the work I can get, you know?
Well, yeah, and I will say, I believe it is the absolute best platform for those getting started and for those who want to boost their career. Because if you can make 100 grand plus a year on Fiverr, and it's been proved, yes, it can be done. It's not just a starter platform. I mean, it runs the gamut. That's the beautiful thing.
It's all
So
over.
there
I
are
mean,
clients for
yeah.
everybody at every level, you know. So Mallory, thanks again for your time. Looking forward to your class. Again, beginning Tuesday, June the 8th. Go to the link, should be below, so you can go look at all the details, you know, and sign up. We'd love to have you. And we're doing this at a ridiculously cheap price because we want to get everybody who wants to learn into this. So, I mean, I cannot imagine a business investment that will return the kind of return ROI on your investment that this would. I mean, this is, you really got to give it serious consideration.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we're gonna start at the beginning. Then, if you've been on there for a while and you're looking to, how can I just do a little bit more? How can I
yeah,
increase that monthly income? What are little things I can do to do that? We'll talk about that too, because I'm still trying to get there too. Like, okay, what did I do at that point to get just $500 more a month? So what can we do to start increasing our income at that point?
this is
So,
going to be a great class. Thank you.
yeah.
Looking forward to it. Get signed up, and thank you, Mallory. And we look forward to seeing you in the class.
All right, thanks.
All right. Bye.